Good evening. And welcome to the graduation of St. Mary's College High School. My name is Audrey Nunley, class of 2000, and I am the president of St. Mary's. In a few moments, the class of 2025, the faculty, the Board of Trustees, and administration of St. Mary's will soon process into the theater. Before they do, I would like to share with you the manner in which we celebrate our commencement at St. Mary's College High School. First, at this time, please take a moment to silence any cell phones or electronics that may disrupt the ceremony. Also, there is no standing in the aisles or in the back during the ceremony except for our student ambassadors. Our graduation is a celebration, but formal. As such, we ask that everyone respect every aspect of our program. Such respect is shown by appropriate applause when called for. Out of respect for each member of the graduating class, and so each person's name is properly heard, we ask that applause be appropriate. The faculty, Board of Trustees, and administration are attired in traditional academic regalia. In the commencement program, a description of these distinctive garments and their colors and styles and what they signify can be found. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated as we begin the commencement exercises and welcome the 162nd graduating class of St. Mary's College High School, the class of 2025. Graduates, please be seated. As we do for all of our gatherings, we will begin with prayer led by two of our graduates, Brandon Sanchez and Olivia Watson.
Let us remember that we're in the holy presence of God. Loving God, after arriving in 2021, you bring us here as the 162nd graduating class of St. Mary's College High School. For over 12 years, you have blessed us through our vocations as students, forming and growing us as scholars, but most importantly, as human beings. We thank you for the gift of a Lasallian Catholic education. We come to you in the gratitude for the staff, faculty, administration, and Board of Trustees that have played a role in our personal formation. Our educators have pushed us to grow into saints you desire us to be. We thank you for the model of inspiration and legacy of our founder, St. John Baptiste de La Salle, and the ministry of the Christian Brothers. We are a product of the work you do through them. We look to the Christian brothers as living examples of fulfilled vocations rooted in faith, service, and community. We pray that the 5 LaSallian core principles of faith in the presence of God, inclusive community, respect for all persons, concern for the poor and social justice, and quality education continue to act as our Star of Bethlehem, bringing us closer to the love of God each and every step of our journey. In a similar way, we give thanks to everyone in this theater, our families, friends, loved ones, who have played a unique and intimate role in our stories. We thank you for the sacrifice of our parents and guardians in ensuring that we go to a school like St. Mary's. We invite the power of the Holy Spirit in this evening as we walk the stage, anticipating where the journey takes us from here. Veni Sancte Spiritus. Come, Holy Spirit.
Psalm 96 calls us to sing a new song to the Lord. In our prayer tonight, we ask that you give us the grace to sing a new song to the world. You call us to love you and love your neighbors. Use us as vessels of your love and light. Over 2,000 years ago, Mary gave the most important yes of history by agreeing to bear your son, Jesus, in her womb, and by extension, becoming the mother of God. The doors of the birth of the Catholic Church were opened by one ordinary girl's yes. In the 17th century, St. John Baptist de La Salle gave his own yes to serve the poor and marginalized in France. Today, the LaSallian Christian Brothers serve over 1 million students in 80 different countries around the world. They have become changemakers simply by being brothers to all of God's children. You have called each of us to be 21st century saints, ordinary people who do extraordinary things. In the homily at his inauguration mass, Pope Leo XIV said, "I was chosen without any merit of my own, and now, with fear and trembling, I come to you as a brother, who desires to be a servant of your faith and your joy, walking into the path of God's love, for he wants us to be united in one family. Although we carry our own fears and worries with us, we know that Jesus lives in our hearts forever. You are inviting us to be there as brothers and sisters to everyone we encounter. You have called each of us by name to be change makers, just like Mary and De La Salle. We have chosen a God who does not call the qualified, but rather qualifies the called. Pope Leo proclaimed that we have entered into an hour for love, of which you are surely calling us to be a catalyst in. We pray that we can serve as fruitful co-creators with you in this hour of love. St. John Baptist de La Salle, live Jesus in our hearts.
Distinguished guests, Board of Trustees, faculty and staff, proud families, friends, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2025. Congratulations. Today marks the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. It's a day filled with pride, excitement, perhaps a little bit of nervousness, and rightfully so, because this moment wasn't just a straight line from point A to point B. It was a journey with late nights, early mornings, breakthroughs, setbacks, and countless memories in between. Each graduate has a story behind this cap and gown. Stories of hard work and hustle, of sacrifice and determination. And while each walked their own path, no one walked it alone. To the families, thank you. You were the first teachers, lifelong cheerleaders, the quiet strength behind every late night study session, every tear, every triumph. You believed in them before they believed in themselves. Whether you were near or far, whether you supported them with advice, a warm meal, a ride, a well-timed "you've got this," this is your day too. To our St. Mary's community, you have nurtured these students and helped them form the whole person, as our LaSallian education calls us to do. From the trustees, who ensure St. Mary's stays true to the Brothers' mission, to the administration, charged with leading the school, to our faculty and staff, who work hard to provide a quality education and the best experience possible to our students. You have given them more than knowledge. You've helped shape the next generation, not just in what they know, but who they are. And the class of 2025, what a time to be graduating. You've grown up in a world that constantly changes. But if there's one thing you've learned, it's how to adapt, how to persevere, and how to grow. You've survived remote learning, social changes, global uncertainty, and didn't just survive. You showed up, you learned, you soared. Whatever path you take, college, career, travel, service, or the unknown, carry forward the lessons you've learned. Stay curious, be kind, and work hard. Please do not forget where you come from and who is supporting you. Your families, your communities, and the journey that brought you here, they are your roots. They are what kept you grounded and strengthen you as you continue to grow. To the class of 2025, your story is just beginning. Go write the next chapter with courage, purpose, heart, and Panther pride. Congratulations, we are very proud of you. At this time, it is my pleasure to invite Dr. Peter Imperial, our principal of St. Mary's College High School, to the podium.
Good evening, everybody. Parents, grandparents, cousins, uncles, friends, and the class of 2025. Graduation speeches are conventionally an opportunity to give advice. It's a freebie. And it's kind of fun telling people what to do. So I thought rather than finish my speech with advice, I would start with it. Some of it is, you've heard it before. You should do push-ups every week, about 50 every other day. You should floss your teeth every day. You should eat more fiber. And you should put your iPhone away. Now, every generation does stuff to make the older generation shake their heads a little bit. And moms and dads, this year's graduates were no different, and a couple of these things were due to the pandemic. Let me tell you a little bit about these kids. They are late to school way too much. Mr. Filson gives how many? 5, 7? 8 times before you get a detention, because we're generous about Highway 80. What they see is, I got 7 opportunities to go get coffee and still walk in late. Next year, however, you're going to be paying a lot more money to go to the next school, and you might want to think about being a little more punctual. Second thing, moms and dads, these kids have to go to the bathroom all the time. The bell rings in the classroom right after break or lunch, and you can look at the teachers and see if I'm telling the truth or not. And a kid will walk in with a 64-ounce thing of water and say, I got to go to the bathroom. I said, you just got here. And and this is an extension of the pandemic, and it's like, yes, but I really have a need to go. And according to the yearbook, who actually surveyed the class, 48.5% of this class likes the bathroom in St. Joseph's Hall. There are 2 classrooms in St. Joseph's Hall. Everything is on the other side of campus. In the world of fashion, by the way, baggy jeans are in, really baggy jeans. So is wearing Chuck Taylor white shoestrings as belts. Sagging has not faded away. I don't understand why you sag. It's a terrible, terrible look. And lastly, they can't write. They can't handwrite. Cursive is dead. You think this is small. Now in the world of ChatGPT, we can't let them use computers because they just ask Mr. Cheat GPT and they come up with the answers. So we give it to them to write, and it's like Alan Turing trying to decipher German codes in England in 1943. One of you, Reggie, where are you? Stand up, Reggie. Wave to the crowd. Would you, Reggie, in a loud voice, would you tell the audience what your name was in my class? X. His name was X, because after the 4th test and I couldn't figure out whose handwriting it was, I said, never mind, your name is X. Oh, sidebar to the students. This is the way that the colleges have figured out how to stop ChatGPT. Here at UC Berkeley, the sale of blue books is up 80% in the last 2 years. And if you care, this was my blue book from a history course on the French Revolution in 1979. I got a B+. All right, enough of that. Tonight, what I thought I'd do is let you know by example and by the stories that your kids have told me in my American Social History class, some life lessons. In American Social History, which is a class that's not real popular, but it ought to be because it's not about the famous people. It's about you and me, the regular people, the people that actually make the world work. And I asked them to write a paper on an ancestor, parent, grandparent, great-grandparent, to track primarily their work lives, because we were doing labor history. And so this is what they came up with. I wanted to share with what they told me about moms and dads, some of your parents and grandparents. Nia Thompson's grandfather is the Reverend Harold R. Mayberry. Born in St. Louis, served as an AME pastor in Missouri, New Orleans, and ultimately as pastor of the first AME church here in Oakland. Alicia Shaw's great-grandfather served beside Turkish leader, the George Washington of Turkey, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, in the 1920s. And all I want to do is find out how he served beside him, in the military, in government. Serena Griffin's great-grandfather was killed at the Jeju Massacre of 1948. I'd never heard of it, and I read a lot of books. In 1948, Syngman Rhee, dictator of South Korea, let his troops open fire. 30,000 people died in those riot suppressions. Kai Wiki's grandfather was born in Punjab, India, today's modern Pakistan. At age 12, he was part of the largest mass movement of people in history, 20 million Hindus and Muslims, where 2 million people died in the transit in 1947. He came to America, and he became a world-renowned geneticist. Joseph Bryant's great-grandfather was born in the Philippines in the 19-teens. He earned dual citizenship for both the United States and the Philippines for himself and his children when he joined in 1942 the United States Navy, even though he was too old, and he fought the Japanese for 4 years. Davis Ward's grandfather, Salvatore Salvaggio, known as Big Pa to the family, was born into grinding poverty in Sicily in 1871. Davis wrote in his paper that as faithful Catholics, that poverty did not stop the family from attending Sunday Mass. And because they could not afford dress clothes for all the kids, the eldest son would wear the one family suit to Mass in the morning. The second son would wear that same suit to afternoon Mass, and Big Pa would wear it to Mass in the evening. Ultimately, Salvatore came to America, came through Ellis Island, settled in Manteca, California, picking peaches. During Prohibition, I love this part, he transported wine illegally from San Francisco to New York. Oliver Bankir, his great-great-grandfather Moshe, was a rabbi for the Jewish community of Warsaw, Poland at the beginning of the last century. Decades later, when the Nazis invaded Poland and packed Warsaw's Jews into the ghetto, his son, realizing that the Nazis were beginning to murder rampantly, his son and his two sons decided to escape. They climbed over a wall in the Jewish ghetto. They jumped down, landed, looked to their left, where they saw Polish policemen, looked to their right, where they saw SS soldiers. They ducked, they got out of the way, and ultimately found their way to freedom. Alexandra Ramirez's abuelita, Epifaya, I hope I said your name right, immigrated to Los Angeles in 1968 during the Bracero program, where she found stable work at a factory. Alex wrote, "The factory work was grueling, consisting of long hours on her feet, repetitive handiwork, and little room for rest. But she still speaks of those days with such tenderness, as though each stitch she sewed stitched together a more secure future for her family." Finally, Melissa Perez wrote about her dad, who immigrated as a teenager from Michoacan to Richmond, California in 1986. He stepped into a country where he did not speak the language, did not know the streets, and did not have a plan beyond one promise: to work. Now my dad is owner of A. Perez Painting. I have gone with him to job sites before. He taught me how to hold a roll of painter's tape just right, how to sand a surface until it's smooth, how to rinse out a brush properly so it lasts. Some people might think my dad's story is nothing special, but to me, it is everything. He did not have anyone to catch him if he fell. He did not speak perfect English. He did not go to college. But because of him, I know what it means to keep showing up, even when you feel scared or unsure. I understand that success is not about instant results, but about steady progress. I understand that work, when done with care and purpose, can be a form of love. Again, graduation is for speeches and all that, and yes, eat more fiber and floss your teeth daily, but follow your family. You've got the opportunity now, as we send you out into the world, to begin your life. Now it's your turn to enter the world and live the lives to make your descendants proud. We love you. We will miss you. Go Panthers. Congratulations. I'd now like to introduce Ms. Kathy Molinelli.
Each year, a student is chosen from among the graduates to deliver the valedictorian address. This graduate is chosen based on how they have lived out the core principles of our Lasallian education. This address is meant to inspire the graduating class as they turn towards the future for higher ideals and put what they have learned at St. Mary's into action. Raina Lee has been chosen valedictorian. Raina is wearing a cross medallion representing the St. Mary's Cross located in the center of our campus. Ladies and gentlemen, Raina.
Good evening, St. Mary's. Board of Trustees, Ms. Nunley, administration, faculty, staff, parents, and the class of 2025. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Raina Lee. First, I just want to say thank you to all the families, teachers, mentors, and friends who have made today possible. Thank you to the parents who have helped us survive high school, whether it was driving us to school when we missed the bus, staying up late to proofread our essays, or at least pretending to, or reminding us lovingly that procrastination is not a personality trait. Thank you to the teachers who stayed patient with us, even when we asked, is this going to be on the test for the 5th time that day? And thank you to everyone who has come here today to support a loved one. It's truly an honor to be standing here today. But honestly, if you asked me and told me 4 years ago that I'd be giving this speech, I would have laughed and probably asked, what's St. Mary's? Back then, I had no idea this place would become such a big part of my story. I thought I was headed somewhere else, but when it came time to decide, something in me pulled me here. It wasn't the easier choice or the expected one, but it was the right one. But I had no familiar faces, no comfort zone, just me walking into freshman year. I felt out of place. I was unsure, uncomfortable, and honestly scared. But that choice, that leap, ended up changing everything. So let me take you to sophomore year, 3rd trimester, in Miss Khan's geometry honors class. That's when I met Colin Keese. At first, I didn't think much of him. He had this look that reminded me of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Long hair, long legs, and always slouching in his seat like he didn't have a care in the world. He'd always be the one constantly cracking jokes in the middle of class, saying things that made no sense, but somehow got everyone to laugh. Honestly, he was a lot to handle at first. I didn't know how to deal with his sense of humor or how much he could talk, especially when the rest of us were just trying to get through geometry. Then one day, Miss Khan sat us next to each other, and looking back now, I'm so thankful she did. It all started with one question. What did you get for question 3? And that opened the door to conversations that had less to do with math, but everything to do with life. We laughed about random things, shared stories, and somehow, even though we weren't always the most focused students, that class became one of the most important for me, because I met someone who's been my rock ever since. And that's what today's about. So if you take one thing away from this speech, just one thing, I hope it's this. Pay attention to the small moments and the random interactions, because sometimes the weirdest decisions, the awkward seating charts, or the unexpected connections are the ones that end up meaning the most. And I know it's tempting to think life has to make perfect sense right now, that you need to have your major picked out, your career path decided, or your whole future mapped out like a 10-year Google Calendar. But the truth is, you don't. And even if you do, life has a way of throwing curveballs you didn't see coming. Our time here at St. Mary's proves that. Think about it. None of us expected our first real high school experience to involve wearing masks. We didn't expect the all-night study sessions, the 3-month-long planning of our prom dresses, or the group projects where only one person would do most of the work. We didn't expect the friendships that formed because we sat next to the right person in a random class, or the educators who would end up shaping our lives forever, like Ms. Khan, who was a second mom to her students, always taking the time to help. And Ms. Pilara, a friendly face we can always count on, reminding us that we belong. And Mr. Peterson, who I went to for everything. You didn't just teach English, you taught us lessons for life. But none of it was planned. None of it was perfect. But it all mattered. It's what gave St. Mary's its heart. St. Mary's might feel like our whole world right now. And today, it is. It's the hallways where we found our best friends, the classrooms where we learned way more than just academics, the fields and courts where we left pieces of ourselves behind after every game and every performance and every late night. It's the place where we became the people we are today. And that's beautiful, but soon we'll blink, and this will just be a tiny chapter in the much bigger story we're about to write. A stepping stone to something greater. A memory we'll look back on when we're standing somewhere new, wondering how we ever got there. Our worlds are about to get so much bigger. Bigger cities, bigger dreams, and bigger fears too. There will be moments when the future feels terrifying, overwhelming, and completely out of control. There will be times when we miss the simple comfort of seeing the same faces every morning, the predictability of spirit weeks, the Shea lunches, and hearing Mr. Kelly's music in the hallways. But if St. Mary's has taught us anything, it's this. You don't have to know all the answers. You just have to stay open to what's next, because every new beginning starts the same way this one did. A little lost, a little scared, and a little unsure. And still, somehow, exactly on time. We weren't meant to be here in some grand cosmic sense, but we chose to be here. We showed up and we found each other, and that choice mattered. And just like we figured it out then, we'll figure it out again. The future isn't something to fear, it's something to discover. So, ask about question 3. Sit next to the person who cracks jokes and makes no sense at all. Laugh through geometry, even if you're not always learning it. Because the most beautiful moments in your life are probably waiting somewhere you never expected them to be. Class of 2025, trust the journey, even when it's messy, especially when it's messy. Because you're not behind, you're not lost, you're right on time. You are exactly where you are meant to be. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Raina. That was great. We continue our celebration by recognizing outstanding academic achievement by members of the class of 2025. Students graduating cum laude, which means with praise, have achieved an overall academic grade point average of 3.2 to 3.49 and are wearing a white tassel. Please stand if you're graduating cum laude. Thank you. You may be seated. Students graduating magna cum laude, which means with great praise, have achieved an overall academic grade point average of 3.5 to 3.74 and are wearing a gold tassel. If you're graduating magna cum laude, please stand. You may be seated. students graduating summa cum laude, which means with highest praise, have achieved an overall academic grade point average of 3.75 and above. They are wearing a gold tassel and a gold cord. If you're graduating summa cum laude, please stand. Thank you. You may be seated. Congratulations to all of the graduates graduating with academic honors. We have 2 academic organizations that our students participate in over their 4 years at St. Mary's. Those graduates who were recognized as California Scholarship Federation Lifetime members, known as CSF, please stand. These students are wearing a CSF pin. Please be seated. Those graduates who were recognized as National Honor Society members, known as NHS, please stand. These members are wearing an NHS pin. Thank you. You may be seated. Those graduates who worked on the inclusive community team and were recognized for their year-long commitment to our ongoing mission-related projects, please stand. These students are wearing a St. John Baptist de La Salle pin. You may be seated. At this time, we would like to recognize the graduates who have been honored for their outstanding work on their senior projects. These students demonstrated curiosity, passion, and determination throughout their research and the creation of their final presentations. Some of their senior projects were highlighted on the St. Mary's Panther Morning News. A plug for our news channel. If you're interested in learning more about their projects, please visit our YouTube channel and look for the announcements posted this month. Sorry, I had to. These graduates were recognized for their senior projects. Please stand and be recognized. They are wearing a St. Mary's cross pin today. Please be seated. On Friday, May 23rd, the St. Mary's community honored the class of 2025 at our traditional senior presentation. At that ceremony, the following honors and awards were given. We asked the graduates to stand as a group as the honors and awards are mentioned. Those graduates who received a certificate for a St. John Baptist de La Salle Award for academics, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Please be seated. Those graduates who received a St. Mary's Athletic Medal for Most Inspirational Athlete or Athlete of the Year, please stand. And finally, we would like to thank and honor our salutatorian, Jaden Reed, who is wearing Jaden, like Raina, is also wearing a cross medallion representing our cross at the center of our campus. She shared her address last evening at our baccalaureate mass. Jaden, are you standing yet? Jaden, please stand and be recognized. Where are you? Congratulations to all our honorees. At this time, I invite Dr. Sarah Traiani, Assistant Principal for Academics, to announce the highest academic awards.
Each year, St. Mary's College High School presents special awards to those graduates who have demonstrated outstanding academic achievement in the various academic disciplines. Graduates, please come forward when your name is called. The St. Mary's Award for Visual Arts is presented to the graduate who has excelled in the area of the visual arts. This year's recipient is Madison Potter. The St. Mary's Award for Performing Arts is presented to the graduate who has excelled in dramatic performances. This year's recipient is Blaze Walsh. The St. Mary's Award for Mathematics is presented to the graduate who has demonstrated both exceptional insight and outstanding mathematical competence. This year's recipient is Javin Schmidt. The St. Mary's Award for Philosophy is presented to the graduate who has excelled in the study of philosophy. This year's recipient is Dallas Fafiu. The St. Mary's Awards for World Languages are presented to the graduates who have excelled in the study of a language other than English. This year's recipient for French is Serena Griffin. This year's recipient for Spanish is Michael Petahoff. The St. Mary's Award for Social Science is presented to the graduate whose work in social science has been exceptional. This year's recipient is Jagger Gulav Singh. The St. Mary's Award for English is presented to the graduate who has excelled in the study of literature and in the communication of the written word. This year's recipient is Blaze Walsh. The De La Salle Award for Religious Studies is awarded to the graduate who has demonstrated not only reverence for God, but also an understanding and appreciation of contemporary religious issues. This year's recipient is Trevor Walton. The St. Mary's Award for Laboratory Science is presented to the graduate who has excelled in the area of laboratory science. This year's recipient is Olivia Crawford. The final awards are presented to the graduates who most embody the Catholic and Lasallian heritage and tradition of St. Mary's College High School. The St. Mary's Award for Faith, Service, and Community is presented to the graduates who have lived out our Lasallian core principles through exemplary service to and a love for our St. Mary's community. These graduates were chosen because of their commitment to the underserved, their sensitivity to social and community needs, the active nature of their faith, and the difference they make at St. Mary's and in the world. This year's recipients are, and there are 3. Brooklyn Dwyer. Juliana Pilara. And Trevor Walton. At this time, we will now confer the diplomas to the graduates. Now, Panther community. This is so important. It's part of the way that we honor and show our love for one another. As you cheer and applaud for your child, please respect the graduates and their families so that all student names may be heard. The graduates of the class of 2025. Joel Abbott. Melanie Abraham. Tallulah Alatorre. Nathaniel Bader. Charlotte Ballard. Oliver Banker. Sasha Bartel. Cameron Bazil. Aiden Bergmark. Julian Blake. Alexandra Blatney. Elsa Boardman. Ariana Boroditsky. Brandon Bozio. Beatrice Brackley. Lucas Bradley. John Brailsford. Monica Brecca. Dominic Brockstead. Joseph Bryant II. Gabriel Cabral. Anthony Kamek. Syra Campbell. Romina Clement. Julian Connell. Dylan Corbett. Janai Cartwright. Avi Cody Moran. Olivia Crawford. Shane Daniels. Elena Davis. Francisco de los Ríos. Kian D'Souza. Jacob Demasay. Sophia Detweiler. Olivia Dinkins. Joshua Durden. Brooklyn Dwyer. Frey Edwards. Zariah Edwards. Enzo Alaya. Dallas Fafew. Jonathan Fernandez. Ariana Figueroa. Nyasa Fight. Sean Franklin. Wade Freeman. Ahmad Gabriel. Cullum Gallagher. Benjamin Gilson Rome. Jackson Gray Boero. Serena Griffin. Julian Gwindon. Jagger Gulav Singh. Amani Haro. Ethan Harris. Tori Harris. Berkeley Hedgepeth. Sydney Higgins. Oliver Hitchens. Juliana Isolani. Io Johnson Vijant. Jaden Jones. Mina Jones. Ian Kaner. Colin Keese. Kazari Kinchin. Marlo Kuroki. Layla LaFontaine. Alexa Lawson. Raina Lee. Nicholas Levenberg. Oliver Levin. Jing Lee Zhou. Zaya Lindenbaum. Pierce Madison. Eli Mailman. Reggie Maskett. Asa Maslia. Cooper Matheny. Hannah McAllister. Aiden McGee. Benjamin Mendler. Emerson Micah. Tremaine Moore II. Rebecca Morales Reyes. Grayson Moratoff. Loon Malarkey. Jojo Munsayak. Madeline Nadell. Diego Nagel. Lavelle Nguyen. Lucas Nitzen. Wyatt Nolan. Joshua Ochoa. Shai Osorio. Julia Pele. Melissa Perez. Marcus Perkins. Michael Petahoff. Juliana Pilara. Peter Podesta. Blake Polakar. Madison Potter. Grace Perindaville. Alexandra Ramirez. Colin Racing. Jaden Reed. Oliver Rohde. Marley Richard. Amari Roberson. Celine Rodriguez. Jason Rodriguez. Sophia Rogel. Jason Rojas. Judith Saldana. Riley Salvador. Allison Jane San Pedro. Brandon Sanchez. Fabián Sánchez Vidó. Erica Sanders. Catherine Scannell. Javin Schmidt. Carly Schneider. Suni Scott. Alicia Shaw. Aoife Shen. Pilar Silbelis. Anna Simmons. Andres Souza. Sophia Stallworth. Leah Sullivan. Talarico. Joaquin Tarango. Nia Thompson. Sophia Tolliver. Leo Turner. Kai Valley. Sanaya Van. Jordan Vacular. Blaze Walsh. Juliana Walters. Trevor Walton. Davis Ward. Olivia Watson. Kai Wicki. Tatiana Wilson. Simeon Wong. Luca Yasa. Mason Young. And Nico Zybel.
I'd be remiss if I did not mention that even for members of this class, their time working at St. Mary's, playing at St. Mary's is not done. Tomorrow, a handful of our seniors will be competing at the California State Interscholastic Track and Field Championships in Clovis. And our boys baseball team will be playing for the sectional championship in baseball. Graduates, would you please stand? On behalf of St. Mary's College High School, I present to you the graduates of the class of 2025. We ask that all family and guests please remain in your seats until the graduates have left the theater. Graduates will meet their families and friends outside in the plaza.
Finally, to conclude this ceremony, we invite all alumni of St. Mary's College High School present here today to come forward to the stage. Faculty, alumni, and other alumni present will join our newest alums, the graduates of the class of 2025, in the singing of the St. Mary's alma mater, the Bells of St. Mary's. The lyrics of the bells are on the back of the program. Please stand and join us. Ready? One, I guess I'm leaving. 1, 2. The bells of St. Mary's, they always shall guide us through all of our sorrows, our victories, and woes. For we gladly faithful to all you have taught us, to live for truth, to trust in us, and every Alumni, please take your seats so we may begin the recessional. Guests, please pay special attention to this original remix of Pomp and Circumstance, arranged exclusively for St. Mary's by alums Jared Mitchell and Michael McCree, class of 2010. It has been played at every graduation since 2010.